I'm Patrick Lancaster, and right now we are in the center of Moscow, and you can see a wall of flowers, children's toys. Here's a train set. Here on this fence, right in front of the Palestine embassy. We're here to report on a meeting that's going on here that they call a meeting of solidarity with Palestine with the Arab and Muslim countries. Now there's going to be ambassadors from many different countries here, and we're going to see what they have to say about the current situations in the Middle East. Now this wall of flowers here is because people came here over the last weeks to leave flowers in remembrance of the 6,000, that's today's new figures, over 6,000 civilians that have been killed by Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip. And then in the last 24 hours, there's actually some more attacks on the West Bank that killed civilians. So we're here to talk to these ambassadors about what they think about the situation, what the outcome can be, and how this situation is going to be solved with less civilians dying. Now I say these 6,000 civilians that have been killed by indiscriminate or targeted shelling by Israeli forces, but killing civilians on any side of any line is wrong. And the fact is that just like every war, civilians have been senselessly killed on both sides of this conflict. And that doesn't just go for the 6,000 that have been killed by Israel, it goes for on the 7th of October when Hamas came across the fence line into Israel territory. Purportedly, they killed over 1,200 civilians just in the first days. Since then, it's rose to over 1,400. But there are many videos, information that seems to purportedly prove that Hamas targeted civilians as well. So this isn't about supporting Hamas or supporting Israel. This is about supporting the facts and the events that are not going to be seen by the Western mainstream media. This is about supporting the facts that is the truth about what's happened to civilians, regardless on what side of the contact line they're on. About civilians getting senselessly killed by military actions from one side to another. We're here to talk to them about what they think about Hamas, what they think about the Israeli forces, and the senseless killing of civilians on both sides, and particularly about the possibility of a two-state solution to possibly bring an end to the violence and senseless killing. And we're going to see what they have to say about these facts and show you as much as we can. Can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Khalid Shawabka. I am the ambassador of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan to the Russian Federation.
And why are you here today?
We are here in solidarity with our Palestinian brothers and sisters, and we are in solidarity with them not just today. We are with them in solidarity and in support always and forever.
And what do you think is going to happen in the future?
What we are hoping for, and what we are in Jordan aiming for, first of all, is to stop the escalation and get humanitarian relief for all the Palestinians in Gaza. Also, we are against, and we will stand against any transfer of Palestinians outside of their cities in any shape or form. We are asking the international community to unite together to stop the Israeli attack on civilians in Gaza. This is not accepted under any law and under any humanitarian law. Those are civilians. They are being targeted by missiles, by airplanes, and they are isolated in Gaza. And this is not the way to solve any conflict. The only way to solve conflict is to go back on the negotiating table, both Palestinians and Israelis, and the only solution to end the conflict between the Palestinians and the Israelis is the creation of a Palestinian state on the border of 1967, and East Jerusalem is the capital city of Palestine.
And do you believe if this conflict continues to escalate, it could turn into World War III?
We hope it will not escalate, but if it continues, it will escalate to the whole region, and it will also affect not just the Middle East, it will affect the whole world. And we are hoping for the international community just to stand firm and put an end to this aggression.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What we are seeing now in Palestine is a huge massacre, unfortunately, committed by the Israeli army without any kind I mean, nobody can condone such massacres because it's targeting children, women, hospitals, schools, and whatever. What we are seeing, unfortunately, is the result of the long-standing Israeli government's position in rejecting all kinds of Arab proposals for peace. The most important one that was issued in 2002 in Beirut during the Arab Summit, in which, I mean, the 22 Arab countries proposed what we call the Arab Peace Initiative, to have a peaceful solution to the long-standing occupation of Palestine, which, you know, as you all know, which started in 1948, and it's the only occupation in the whole world. I mean, the apartheid in South Africa finished, but the occupation of Palestine did not, unfortunately. At that time, the whole Arab countries proposed the Arab Peace Initiative, which guarantees the right of Israel to exist and live peacefully in the Middle East, and with full normalization of the relation with Israel from all 22 Arab countries, in return to small part of land of historic Palestine. I don't know, lady, if you know that historic Palestine is around 36,000 square kilometers. The Arab agreed that Israel will take 78% of the land and establish or keep its state on it. In return, only give Palestine 22% to establish their state with East Jerusalem, not East Jerusalem as the capital. Unfortunately, the Israeli government never accepted this, especially the latest one with this extreme government under Mr. Netanyahu. And that's why we are seeing what we are seeing from the flirting of killing and bombarding in this area.
Yes, and you know that tonight Israel intensified bombing on multiple fronts, including the West Bank and as well as Lebanon.
Yes.
So could Israel-Hamas conflict spread across the Middle East?
That's what we're all afraid of, actually, because what Israel is doing is instigating the whole the problems in the whole area. It's provoking everybody, especially in my country, Lebanon. We are in Lebanon in the reactive mode till now. I mean, even the Lebanese army and Hezbollah and all Lebanese resistance trying to defend our land. And I would like to make it clear and stress this. All the operation that the Lebanese side is doing is within the Lebanese occupied territory in Kfar Shuba and Shab'a farms and Gajar village, small village. That's why, I mean, all the military operations are going against the occupation of our land. And so many, martyrs from the Lebanese side are losing their lives every day, are falling every day. And the situation is so critical and so alarming. That's why we need, or we call on the international community and the big countries, on top of them our best friend Russia, and under the wise leadership of President Putin, to exert pressure on Israel and on the West, unfortunately, to find out a peaceful solution to impose directly a ceasefire very promptly, very quickly, because each and every hour without ceasefire, a lot of children and women are losing their lives. So we are badly in need for ceasefire, and then to open the crossing for humanitarian aid from Egypt and from other places. And eventually, I would like to conclude saying no end of violence and killing in the Middle East unless we have the comprehensive solution by creating and first solution the Palestinian state.
And you have mentioned ceasefire. Yesterday, John Kirby said, quote, "A ceasefire right now really only benefits Hamas," quote ended. How could you comment on this?
Well, it's unfortunately this biased American position and European position, I can say it doesn't help at all in solving the conflict right now. The opposite. I mean, it could increase the tension and the hatred in the area, and a lot of Arab people and in the Islamic world are wondering why all this blind support to Israel without looking at the humanitarian side of what happened in Gaza. As many Arab leaders, expressed their position clearly. The Arab leaders, the Arab world, everybody, we are all against killing of innocent people from all sides, But it's not fair to consider from one side human beings and the other side are not, as some of the Western media and the Western officials try to say about Palestinian people and children. Yesterday or 2 days ago, one of the French officials, I think the Prime Minister, she put it right. She said, we cannot cry on some people, we should cry on everybody. That's fine. That's what we need to promote in the Western leadership, that all people are equal. There is no spirit or no life more important than others. It's against humanity, against the human law, against all international rules and laws.
And also yesterday, Macron said that they need to form a coalition, anti-Hamas coalition against Hamas. What do you think about it?
Well, it is unfortunately this extreme positions from the West in supporting Israel. It will not help the cause at all. It will not help Israel even. The opposite. I mean, it will create more tension. It will create more problems in the Middle East. The fighting will go on and on, especially that when we know that 2 million Palestinians or more are locked in a very small area in Gaza since 2007. Maybe the international or the public don't know this. I mean, since 2007, there is a complete blockade on Gaza Strip, this small area with more than the most dense area in the whole world. 2,200,000 people within 380 square kilometers only, with all kind of suffering of its people. And now we see that Mr. Macron or some other leaders, they are blindly supporting Israel without taking into consideration the justice case and the right of Palestinian people to live in dignity, to live in safety like any other people in the whole world. And that's what we're calling for. And Lebanon, my country, is insisting on that. Nobody likes war. We are all for peace, but peace with dignity, with rights to be returned to Palestine and to other world. And here, I would like to say that even in Lebanon, as we said, there is still occupied land till now. And Israel is rejecting to withdraw its troops from occupied land in South Lebanon. That's why, the right to resist, to regain our rights, we will stick to this right anytime, by all means.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself one more time.
It's Shawki Bounassar, Lebanese ambassador to the Russian Federation and the Dean of Arab Ambassadors.
And we came a little bit late. May I ask you, what are you doing here today?
We are here, I mean, to express our solidarity and sympathy with our brothers, the Palestinian people, through their embassy here. I mean, what we have seen in the last 2 weeks or more, the massacres committed against children and women in the Israeli, in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank and the Palestinian occupied land, is so terrifying issue, and actually it never happened, I think, for decades. Never seen such brutality from the Israeli occupation. And also, it's not only harming the Palestinian, it's harming Lebanese people. As you all know, that Israel is provoking Lebanon through daily aggression on our territory, on our people, on our villages in South Lebanon. And what we are doing is a reactive, we are in reactive mode. We are trying to defend our country, our village, our people against the Israeli aggression.
And as you said, it's a good point that you bring up that both sides, all people should be treated as people the same way.
Absolutely.
What can you say, as you said, there's been many women, children, and men killed in Gaza. I believe today it officially is over 6,000 and 15,000 injured. On the Israeli side, it has reached 1,400. What can you say about the accusations and supposed video proof of Hamas targeting civilians?
No, well, actually, we all know that the problem in Gaza Strip and the occupied land in Palestine didn't start 2 weeks ago. It started 75 years ago. It is, we have to go to the roots of the problem, not to the results. The roots of the problem started in 1948 by occupation and by the rejection of Israeli governments and Israeli political, people there to accept the right of Palestinian people to have their own right in creating their own state with East Jerusalem as its capital. And as I just told some of your colleagues, that all the Arab countries in Beirut in 2002, they initiated the Arab Peace Initiative, calling for a peace resolution to the conflict by accepting the existence of Israel, by accepting to normalize the relations with Israel from all 22 Arab countries. In return, that Israel accepted the creation of Palestinian state on 22% only of the land of historic Palestine. But unfortunately, Israel and all Israeli governments, including this extremist one under Mr. Netanyahu, rejected all the way any kind of proposals, of peaceful proposals, and they are insisting that maybe they can solve the problem by force, by bombarding, by killing, by massacres. It will not happen, never happened for 75 years, and this is the proof. After 75 years, we see what Hamas people they did to the Israeli in a reaction to against the injustice, against the killing, against the rejection of Israel to accept or recognize the right to exist with dignity and with peace.
Mm-hmm. And one last question. To many people around the world, the fact that the Hamas offensive was so successful at the beginning, do you think maybe United States or Israeli intelligence ignored possible information showing there was going to be attacks so they could use it as ammunition to move into Gaza?
Well, I cannot say anything about that because I have no information actually, but which is very clear that, of course, there is a great failure from the Israeli intelligence and Israeli forces, military forces, of course, to let such big and huge and successful operation happen. While what's behind the curtains, actually, I cannot answer such question, but it's very clear that there is something wrong one way or another with the Israeli intelligence, with the Israeli military forces and the security measures. And again, this could prove that Israel consider themselves the strongest army in the Middle East and one of the strongest all over the world. They failed before, a few number of Palestinian fighters maybe 1,000, 1,500 who were able to infiltrate to Israel and did what they did. That's why, again and again, I say, by force, there is no end of this struggle. There is no end of this problem since 1948. We need peace. We need peaceful solution through negotiations. And again, we need prompt ceasefire and crossing of open crossings to let the humanitarian aid come to the poor Palestinian people, the children and women everywhere.
Well, thank you very much. Sir.
Thank you so much.
Can you introduce yourself?
I am the Palestinian ambassador in Russia.
And your name?
My name is Nofal. What's my card? Please.
Thank you very much. And
You can give to the CIA, I have no problem.
okay. And can you tell us what are the results of today? How did today go?
Today, it's okay. It's a strong message from Arab countries, ambassador of Arab countries for Palestinian people, you know. They are coming to the Palestinian house, to Palestinian home to send their support. But because, you know, what's going on in Gaza, really, I was shocked from the position of the United States. Because, you know, the biggest democratic country all over the world, why they are saying that? You know, because, you know, it's a huge damage in Gaza. It's a catastrophe, you know. In Gaza, you know, around more than 7,000 Palestinians has been killed. More than 16,000 have been injured. 100,000 has been damaged. 65 to 70% from all deaths, they are children and women. What's going on? Why the United States of America stand without any communication where support Israel? Okay, we know that Hamas have some mistake. Hamas, it's not an official Palestinian right. These are Palestinian fractions. Hamas is a Palestinian right. And we as authority, President Mahmoud Abbas and Palestinian Authority, we are against Hamas in Gaza. And Hamas has special good relation with Israel. Israel,
You're against?
Israel, Netanyahu, monthly he brought the money, $36 million by the back, give Hamas, monthly, more than 5 years up to now. And suddenly they have a problem. Why? For different reasons. Why the Palestinian people must pay that? Why the Palestinian civilian must pay that? What's going on? The United States from the day one recognized the two-state solution. They created the two-state solution. Historically, we are from the historical Palestine, if you don't know, from mid to the dead. I have a lot of Israeli friends up to now. They are calling me. And they are wise people. They're saying this, they told me that we are crazy. Because, you know, we are in historical Palestine, we are 14 millions. From dead to the mid, which means from the Mediterranean to the Dead Sea. 7 million they are Jewish and 7 million they are Arab Palestinian, which means 7 million. Where they are going to fire 7 million? Or they killed 7 million. It's impossible. Therefore, we blame the United States and European countries who recognize two-state solution, but they don't any effort to implement this two-state solution. Why they don't? It is the best time to impose the two-state solution. From the day one, the Oslo agreement where I participate on that, Norway, you know, when we sign an agreement, we recognize Israel at the 78% from all Palestine. And we accept 22. We are 7 million, 50% from all population, we accept 22. And we recognize Israel at 78%. Why they didn't recognize our right? Where is the international community? Where is the right of the humanitarian? I mean, really, it's a difficult time, and we blame United States and European countries who, up to now, they didn't implement this recognition. They are recognized that the Palestinian state at the border of 67 with East Jerusalem as capital, but in reality, they didn't anything. To implement that on the ground.
And just to be clear, the proper authorities of Palestine, as you put it, and the population, do you want to recognize a two-state solution and recognize Israel as a state?
Sure. From the day one we did that. Up to now, President Mahmoud Abbas, yesterday, he have a meeting with President Macron. Ramallah. And he told him definitely, we are against killing the civilian. Nisbah, they are Jewish, American, European, Muslim, Christian, Indian, we are against. From the day one, we are against. We are with two-state solution. We need the international community to call for the international conference to implement these rights. And we are insist on that. We need that.
If there is a proposed ceasefire and in the agreement it's to ban Hamas, would the authorities of Palestine and the people of Hamas, people of Palestine support that?
You know, the question is not like that. We need, even President Mahmoud Abbas calling from, to make a ceasefire immediately, to open the gates for, for humanitarian aid, for the medicine, for everything, to release the civilian prisoners immediately, and if there is a possibility to put an end for confrontation, to calling for the international conference for the negotiation for the last peace, for two-state solution. And if there is a right peace, if there is a two-state solution, there is no Hamas, no other fractions, because the people, they want to live simply. As I told you, up to now, I am here in Moscow, and sometimes I'm in contact with our Israeli friends. Because even in Israel, the wise people in Israel, they're saying the same. Hell, where we are going? Because, if the things are moving to the religious war, what they can do? What with 7 million Jewish in Israel, what they can do against 2 billion Muslim? What they can do? Therefore, must be wise people to find a way for that.
Thank you very much.
And one more question. How many countries are present here today, and how many countries shows their solidarity to?
It is difficult to say how many countries. Here I know, because all the Arab ambassadors and Muslim ambassadors here, they are around 26, 27 today here. But how many countries, I don't know. But we are receiving a message from all the Muslim and the Arab countries, from all the Arab countries for sure, and all Muslim countries, because no any Muslim countries can, against Jerusalem, against Al-Aqsa. It is no way to that. And the position of African countries, Latin American countries. I have a lot of ambassadors of Latin American here in the embassy and everywhere. And the position of China, Russia. A lot of countries they are with two-state solution to put an end for this confrontation. In reality. Okay. Thank you.
So we've talked to the ambassador, we've talked to the counselor of Palestine, and shown you a little bit of historic information that you're not going to see in the Western mainstream media. But as always, we show you what you don't see. It's not about supporting one side or another. It's about supporting the facts and supporting the information that doesn't get out in other avenues.